Hey guys, what's going on? It's Brandon. We're gonna rapid fire through a lot of stuff tonight. So first and foremost, I didn't get the car aligned. The technician was very honest with me, which is what I love. I don't mind when people are incapable of doing something as long as they're honest about it. He said, Brandon, for some reason, I can't find the pins or something for the C8 to make the rear caster tool adapt to the C8. And not only that, but the angle gauge that GM has us use, I can't get it to fit right now in the right spot. He's like, I'm just having a bear of a time. I said, don't worry about it. I'm not going to push the guy. He's old. He's about to retire. And they were busy doing other things. And I interrupted all their busyness today. I came in at 10 o'clock. They'd already had a service drive full of people that morning. I was not the early bird to get the worm kind of situation. I appreciated them even trying. I appreciate that they're getting me a zr1 and that they're a dealer of their word. I was third on the list. They have people all the way 10th on their list, and they still called me as the third spot to see if I wanted to take the car or not. If you're going to keep a list, you operate as a list. This is something that Coghlan Automotive deviated from. I used to give Coghlan so much service business. I used to come to their parts department all the time. I used to bring my car to the service department all the time. I mean, if they added up the receipts of how much freaking stuff I bought just out of their parts department and all these different things, they're foolish to split hairs with me over a car that's selling 20 grand over sticker when they promised it to me at MSRP. They're foolish. They're fool. Yeah. So regardless, and I even traded in my car that I bought from Coghlan. I traded it back in, and then some guy broke into the dealership, which is just a freak thing. But they didn't put my keys in the lockbox. My keys were sitting out on a desk. So, of course, the guy stole my car. Okay? This is a couple years back. Messed up my insurance, even though I didn't file a claim. I made the mistake of calling my insurance company and letting them know about it and said, don't open a claim. They opened up a claim anyway. It hurt my insurance. It was a big fucking shit show, okay? So fast forward to in the last couple of years, within the last year, we'll say, last year and a half, Justin, a horsepower obsessed, and all these people, they basically, ostracized me from the Corvette community, basically insulted me to no end, that I was crazy, that I needed to be in a mental institute, all these different things, because I couldn't understand that the car is a ZR1 and not a Grand Sport. But you guys are going to find out soon that it is a Grand Sport. You're going to find out soon that there's a method behind why I was telling you guys that it's a Grand Sport. It's because I actually have people on the inside who know what the fuck's going on. And Justin doesn't. And so Justin and Andrew Zurich and all these different people who cross me, Clayton Smith, Wendy Miller, there's a bunch of them. All these people who cross me, they're screenshots and video clips of all these idiots, because that's what they are going to go into a documentary. And it's going to show the world what we're dealing with in the Corvette community. One of my buddies who watches both my stuff and Justin's stuff hit me up tonight. He's like, dude, Justin's episode tonight was sad. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I think you've wounded him. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, his show doesn't even talk about anything anymore because he knows he doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, for instance, the only technical data he tried to give was wrong. I said, what do you mean? He says, Justin says that the ZR1 isn't going to show up until June or July, and he says it's still going to be a 2025. I'm like, is he so stupid that he doesn't know that General Motors already told the dealerships that 2026 start of production starts before June? How can the fucking ZR1 be a 2025 if he thinks it's going to show up in June or July? The guy has no fucking clue what he's talking about, guys. Speed Phenom isn't touching this thing with the 10-foot pole about the orders getting brought backwards. I can't figure out if Conti knows what's going on and he's just a bad actor, like a bad acting, or if he really is clueless. He was pretending like he doesn't understand why it's happening, even though he says that he believes the Grand Sport's coming. Why would you act like you don't know why the ZR1's being delayed when you have the sheet, the silk sheet over the ZR1 body, and say that that's the Grand Sport, and then act like, oh, I don't know why they're delaying this. I mean, it's weird. So then here's the other thing. Justin, I think, knows that he's sitting there telling everybody, we need to petition to get Harlan back. And Keith Cornette, we need to petition to get Harlan back. Well, then in one of Keith Cornette's articles, he says Harlan's finding somebody to fill in for him while he's gone for a little bit. And then somebody corrects Keith Cornette and they're like, he's fired. But that's Keith Cornette showing that he knows that Harlan's coming back. So if you know Harlan's coming back, why are you asking everybody to write, petitions to get Harlan to come back? So it's just this big, like, remember the movie Gladiator where there's like the emperor and he's like trying to impress the crowd and the crowd likes Maximus because Maximus is real? That's what this is. People know that I'm real. People know that these other guys are fake. They think that you guys are fucking idiots. They're idiots, and then they think that you're even fucking dumber than they are, because the situation is they're telling you to write petitions to get Harlan rehired when they already know that Harlan's going to get rehired. Keith Cornette, I think, already knows that Harlan's getting rehired. So if Keith Cornette admits that he knows that someone's just filling in for Harlan while Harlan's gone and Harlan's going to be back, why would Keith Cornette be writing articles on Corvette Blogger telling everybody, make sure you write in a petition to get Harlan to come back? It's just like a big, like, oh, thank you so much, everyone, for all the love letters. Oh, it's so good to be wanted. This is Harlan Charles, and I've been promoted. And oh, by the way, I'm the one who names all the Corvettes, and you're not going to believe the surprise that we have for you. And see, this is what the guys at General Motors don't understand. They don't understand that by them telling Keith Cornette and thus Justin at Horsepower Obsessed and all these people, tell everybody that a 2025 zr1's coming in the summer of 24. Tell them that it's going to arrive in the summer of 24 as the 2025. So start talking about it in 2022 and 2023. That'll make you really cool. That'll completely tank the fucking value of Z06s because nobody's going to want to pay over a sticker for a Z06 once they hear that the ZR1's right around the corner, when it's not. So this is the stupid lie that Harlan Charles and all these idiots concocted, when they should have been saying that's the 2027 ZR1. It's not going to be here for 4 more years. Z06 is going to be king of the hill, then the E-Ray. And then once the E-Ray is revealed and out on the road, then you say, okay, next car is going to be the Grand Sport, but it's just going to be plain Jane, plain body, nothing to it. You know, it's going to be, and then say it's going to be more expensive than it's going to be. It's going to be like 110 grand or 100 grand even, something like that, 105 grand. It's going to be right there even with the Z06. May as well get a Z06 because those are going to be rare. Because what we're going to do is we're going to cut back production of Z06 and raise the price on those even more. And Grand Sports are going to start out at 110. If General Motors would have leaked that, they would have sold the fuck out of Z06s still. They'd still be selling over sticker. And when cars are selling over sticker, it makes everybody want them, because if somebody can get one at sticker, they know they can drive the car for free. That's why people buy the car, is because a car costs you what you buy it for, subtract what you sell it for. If you buy the car and sell it for more, that's a double negative. That's a positive number. You made money to drive the car. Anybody who has enough fucking money to buy a Corvette is capable of doing this math problem. And that's why they want GT3 RS Porsches. That's why they want GT2 RS Porsches. That's why they want Porsche, the rare Porsche cars. That's why they want the rare Ferrari cars. It's because they can buy them, drive them, and sell them for break even or make money. That's what people wanted about the Corvette. The moment that you ruin that and make it where Z06s are now selling new at sticker, that means the used ones are selling below sticker. It's no longer a free car to drive. It now costs you money. I can no longer afford a Corvette, says so many people, because they depreciate. So General Motors executives ruined the game where people could buy the car, drive it, and break even or even make money. GM ruined the game by talking about this fictitious 2025 ZR1. The fucking car doesn't exist. And Justin at Horsepower Obsessed is still saying it's a 2025 ZR1, when he says it's going to arrive in June or July. I mean, you cannot make up how fucking stupid these fucking fucks are. They're so fucking stupid, it's unbelievable. Get off the air. Retire. So anyway, Eddie X, Speed Phenom, brink of speed. Not one of these people has a clue what the fuck they're talking about right now. They have no fucking clue. None of them know that the body that you're all looking at is the grand sport. And if they do, they're sellouts and they're not telling you. See, that's the beauty with me. Okay, this is one of the things I want to talk about in this video. People say, Brandon, you go about it all wrong. You should be friends with Taj and friends with Harlan and friends with Benyon. Here's an interesting thing. These are all facts, guys. I met Taj, Harlan, and Benyon at the NASA reveal back in 2019 when they revealed the convertible. You want to know what my conversation with Benyon was? Hey, Kurt Benyon, maybe you'll remember this. I was the guy, Benyon, who, when you were outside by the convertible, because you guys had like different cars parked around the campus there, I was the guy who said, you need to do a clear cover for the engine on the convertible. And you looked at me like I was fucking crazy. And I said, you don't understand. People want to show off their engine. At car shows, people will pop the hatch and they'll do a clear cover. I said, and you had such a negative attitude towards my idea, like I'm just such a fucking whack job, that I said, don't worry, the aftermarket will do it and then you'll copy them. Because I was sick of your attitude, Benyon. And what happened? Hey, Harlan, you want to know what I said to you that day? I was the guy, let's see how good your memory is, Harlan. I was the guy who told you that if you have a front splitter that extends forward and adds tension to the cables that hold front splitters up, that those cables can compress and fold when you retract the front splitter, because then the front splitter doesn't need support, but then you can push the front splitter back out and it tightens the cables. And I said, make sure you do that in time for the ZR1 and the Zora. Otherwise, I'm probably going to release a product like that, and I'm going to embarrass you guys that you guys don't have it yet. I'm going to file the patents on it. And then, of course, my conversation with Taj was 45 minutes long. We talked about what? Fuel systems, overheating, oil coolers, dual intake fuel pumps, limp modes, class actions, lemon law. And Taj waved him off on stage, says, I don't want to talk right now. I want to talk to Brandon. And he continued to. There was a circle of people around us. So you can try to deny that, Taj, but I have witnesses that you talked to me for 45 minutes. So that was 2019. Since that time, I've made friends with a lot of people inside General Motors. There's two camps inside GM. There's the people who hate me because it's the cool thing to do. Ooh, he's stupid, isn't he? Yeah, he hates Corvettes, even though he drives more miles in them than anybody. He hates the Corvettes. He's not just trying to get them fixed and he wants better for Corvette. No, he hates them. No, I don't. And then there's the other camp who knows how to fucking drive, and they feed me information behind the scenes. They're like, hey, you know what? You're right. And please stop insulting us on your YouTube channel that it's all the engineers. It's not all the engineers. Some of us actually understand what the fuck's going on. But the problem is some of the other engineers don't understand, and it's all politics. And so we got to go with the flow. But if you want to keep complaining on your YouTube channel, Brandon, that's going to make our job a whole lot easier to get our way, because Mark Royce is going to realize that we're not just feeding him a line when we say the weight distribution needs to be fixed on the car. And Taj fucked that up. Okay? So it needs to be 4357. The engine needs to be moved forward more. They can bubble this out a little bit more. The firewall, they can bubble it. They can bring the engine forward a little bit more. They can, what do you call it? I'm not going to get into that right now. But they could put the oil tank in the tunnel. Underneath here, they could put the oil tank in here. They could lower the engine and they could put the oil tank in here, and it would gravity feed properly. That would allow them to move the whole engine forward. It would allow them to move the mount points for the rear axles backward on the DCT, which brings all the weight forward more. There's a lot of ways they could fix things, okay? The front wheels, they could move them back slightly. They don't need to be that far forward. When you bring the front wheels back a little bit towards the driver, it fixes the weight distribution as well. There's a lot of little things they could do, but then they don't have to have such a crazy EDIF program that's ridiculous, okay? So the 2-in-tank fuel pumps, that's self-explanatory. It's a $300 fucking fuel pump. This isn't rocket science. What was I going to get to, though? I was going to get to a really good point. Shit. I lost it. I'm getting old, man. I'm sorry. Really long story short, these guys are all in a box. It's not about who can put on the best Grand Sport surprise, Harlan. Yay! I put on the greatest Grand Sport prize. Priority number one at General Motors, Harlan, is sell cars. Keep them, the demand super hot to where people think they can buy the car, drive it for free, so it's a no-brainer. They'd rather buy it than a $30,000 car because the $30,000 car will depreciate even more than the Corvette will. That's priority number one, Harlan. You forgot what your fucking job is. You forgot where your fucking paycheck comes from. And what happens is when people start to realize, ooh, Corvettes are huge depreciating assets because fat fucking mouth Justin Horsepower Obsessed and Keith Cornett are going to make up fictitious cars, and so's Harlan, because it's the Grand Sport surprise that we're going to put on the 2025 ZR1 surprise. Justin's still lying, saying the 2025 ZR1's coming when the fucking 2026 model year's here. I mean, you cannot make up how fucking dumb these guys are. You cannot make it up. So, people that have any two brain cells to rub together, they're like, ooh, I'm going to hesitate. The dealership that I was at today, they said that the guy backed out of his Z06 order on the showroom floor. He asked for 10% off MSRP, and the dealership said, go pound sand. And now they're trying to sell it. They can't get 10% off MSRP from anybody. There's Z06s all over the place. General Motors is so fucking stupid. So stupid. And this whole thing about getting rid of the what do you call it? Flippers? Who cares if people flip cars? It's the United States. That means it creates demand. It creates a squeeze when you let the flippers do their shit. And that drives up the prices on all of our used car values. Your car gets totaled? Great. NADA book value on it's over MSRP. You just made money. Your car gets stolen? Great. You made money. You sell your car? Great. You made money. Who the fuck doesn't want to drive a car for free? Oh, goody, Keith Cornett. It's communism is here. We're price controlling everything, which is what Keith Cornett always puts in his stupid fucking Corvette bloggers. We need to make it so the dealers aren't allowed to sell it over MSRP, and there's no more flippers of any kind, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now we're back to shit economy Corvette world is what we're back to now, where Corvettes depreciate like a motherfucker. Thank you, Keith Cornett. You got your fucking wish. It now costs a lot of money to own a Corvette, and instead a person wants to buy a Porsche because they know they can buy it and resell it after they drive it for a year for even more money if they get one of the rare ones. But there's going to be a new rare car, Brandon. You'll see. It doesn't matter. You ruin the reputation where you made it where the Z06s stop being rare after a year. Now you're going to try to tell everybody that the Grand Sport's going to be rare? No, it's not. You guys are so stupid. I mean, you guys are so fucking dumb. Eventually, when we put on the Pro documentary, there will be executives who get fired because there's the big money people who are the big investors, the Warren Buffetts of the world. They're going to see the documentary and they're going to say, you know what? That guy gets it. I don't give a fuck how many peons Justin at Horsepower Obsessed convinced that Brandon's crazy. Brandon obviously wasn't crazy. There was no 2025 ZR1. This guy knows what he's talking about. And all the Corvette called a cluelessness who wants to follow fat fucking Justin around. Go follow fat fucking Justin around like the Pied Piper. Have fun following the fat fuck. The guy doesn't even know when 2026 starts on the Corvettes. And you waste an hour watching his fucking show. All it is at this point is a stupid fucking depressed raffle. That's all it is stupid depressed raffle. Have fun. I don't even watch it anymore. It makes me sick to watch this fucking show. See ya.